for joining us on the WDW News Today podcast. My name is Eric Morton. With me, as always, is Tom Corliss. Tom, we're wearing the same shirts again.
It's as if these were recorded on the same day.
Yeah, we are recording two in the same day, and it happens to be the day when I don't know who the idiot is, but we're both idiots wearing the same shirt. We're not on the same bowling team. Or
You know why we're not idiots, though? Because the shirt is from Park Candy.
These are high-quality shirts, that is for sure. Very comfortable. Park Candy. You can go to WDWNT.link/Park Candy. If you use the code WDWNT at checkout, you get a 15% discount. I am still very happy with these. As we said in the last episode, I've even purchased some of my own.
I love them.
I love them. They're much more comfortable than ones that I buy in the parks, too. It's just I love
this
of those
material,
yeah.
The four-way stretch, as Erica said.
Yeah, I don't know. Sugar floss is what they call this material. It's nice, light, sweet material. I haven't tasted it, but I guess that's what you might find out if you were to taste it. I don't know. Good stuff. Thanks to our friends at Park Candy for making us look and feel fantastic.
I don't know if this is still available by the time this is airing, but we also on the desk have Gertie. This is Dinosaur Gertie. Our first ever plush from Carousel Products. It's available at this link, WDWNT.link/Gertie. If they are still available, they might be gone by the time you're hearing or watching this. But yeah, it's a Gertie plush. It's $50 because custom plush are expensive. But it is, we drew it. It's completely custom made. We fought for 3 months about the color to make sure the color was right. It's super soft, very huggable. Also very collectible. Yeah. It'll have an embroidered Carousel Products logo on the foot. Has a special tag. But it's perfect. I love it. And not just because we made it. Like, it's a dream come true. I've always loved Gertie, and I think being able to finally bring home Gertie is a very special thing.
Well, there you have it. We are going to continue, as we promised 2 episodes ago, with the Ask Me Anything because there were so many questions and we ran out of time.
Yeah.
So I know that there's nothing you like more than answering questions that you have no control over where they came from or what the people are asking, right? Is that on the top of your list of things to do?
Yeah.
And since, you have most people blocked on Twitter, we let them ask in the community post this and in the comments from our Ask Me Anything episode that we did
Never heard that
couple
joke before.
Weeks ago. All right. I'm not going to read I'm not going to read everybody's names because some people's YouTube names are very long. Any ideas on who might be the next CEO of the Walt Disney Company after Bob Iger steps down? We've touched on this. The subject has nicked us before, but we haven't gone too deep into it.
Who do you think?
I think Dana Walden makes a lot of sense. She is not only very accomplished and professional, she is good in front of cameras. She obviously would be the first woman CEO of the Walt Disney Company, which is something that Fortune 100 companies are doing these days. I think it's about time, and I think that she would be a strong candidate. I'm not saying she is the one. I think she is a front runner, is among the front runners. What about you?
Kevin Mayer.
Yeah?
I think so. I think him or Tom Staggs. I think they come back, but we'll wait and see.
Yeah. Any particular strength that you see? I mean, he built Disney Plus, basically, right?
Yeah, I think he has a good head for the business. Tom Staggs would be my choice. I don't know that he's going to come back.
He's a parks guy.
He was. I mean, he was also CFO.
He's also a money guy.
Yeah. But
who's the guy he swapped jobs with? I know your favorite guy. Why am I drawing a blank?
I hate you.
I just want to make
what
you
I like
say
about
it.
Tom Staggs is, he was a money guy. So I think when he got the job at Parks and Resorts, we were very concerned about that. And then you end up having the best run of Parks and Resorts in like 15 years at that point. So that was, what a moment. Like Cars Land, Mystic Manor, New Fantasyland, the Wish and the Fantasy, all of that in the Staggs era. So like that's I said the dream and the fantasy.
The wish and the fantasy?
The dream and the fantasy.
The dream and the fantasy.
Did I say wish?
Yeah, you said the wish and the fantasy.
The dream.
I don't think that anybody includes the wish as a great accomplishment.
Boats.
Yeah.
The good boats. Good ships, whatever you want to say. It's not a boat. Yeah, that's why I would want Tom Selleck. Even though he's a money guy, I think he clearly let the creative people do what they need to do, and I think that's so important to the Walt Disney Company.
Just to quickly address this, by the way, because we've had that comment before when you've called it a boat, when obviously me having a lot of sea time, being a former Marine, would call it a ship most of the time. The Disney Cruise Line started as the Big Red Boat.
Yeah.
That was the name of the experience.
Yeah.
So boat is not.
But they let their characters on do,
Yeah. So that is not necessarily incorrect to call it boat in that context. All right, moving on. What is your favorite ride at Disneyland Paris?
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Really?
Yeah, and then Phantom.
Pirates, then Phantom?
Yeah.
Okay, that was easy. Are there reasons why you want to expand on
we
that?
were a pirate family. Like, that was not that we were like pirate. Like, my father wasn't a pirate.
The Bronx Pirates. Pirates of the Bronx. Hey, yo.
Be giving us all your bagels. No, like that was we always liked Mansion too, but like Pirates was the one we always gravitated towards. So like being on the best Pirates of the Caribbean. But Phantom is, I love Phantom so much. They're both phenomenal.
Hard to pick, I'm sure. If you could pick one ride to walk through at a Disney park, what would it be?
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea at Tokyo Disney Sea. There's video out there of the evac. It's weird.
Yeah.
So the way it works, it's kind of like the Peter Pan ride system a bit. It's a suspended vehicle, but there's theming like all around you, like you're going through caverns and stuff. But then to exit, you have to come out the top of the sub. If it's an emergency, you'd have to be able to crawl out the top of the submarine. And then
what about people that can't?
You're not supposed to ride. There's catwalks that you'd be able to walk above all the scenes to evac. So that's the dream. The dream is to do that.
What is the best evac you've done? What's the coolest one you've done?
In Mansion.
You've done Rise several times.
Rise, I've been out every door. I've walked every scene of Rise of the Resistance. I've been out every emergency exit in the building.
I only got evac'd from the queue right before
And then they told you to leave.
They made us leave the park because it was closing.
We're closed now. Please leave. They gave you nothing.
I was live streaming. You can go back and find that one. I don't know.
Please leave. And then my Mansion. Mansion was cool. But Racers, we walked the racetrack in Racers. That was kind of cool. Those two stick out. Tower of Terror was neat too. In the fifth
You
dimension,
walked through the fifth dimension.
In the fifth dimension, we walked on the mirror panels. Yeah, that was cool.
And then what, to some stairs? Or do they have an elevator for that? Like a real working elevator?
Maybe there was. I think we definitely took the stairs, but I don't know.
That's cool. I don't know. I would like to be evacuated from something cool, but it's always Mission Space or Toy Story Mania or a bunch of these ones that are not exciting at all to get evacuated from.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool to do some of these. I mean, if I could go back and get evacuated from Horizons.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen? I don't want to get too deep into it. We've talked about these guys before, but the website of the guys that used to go sneak off the ride and like have lunch on the catwalks and stuff at Horizons. How cool is that? Like you get lost in there. That place was huge.
Yeah.
That'd be a cool one to get evacuated from. Some of them, I don't know what you do on Peter Pan's flight. How do you get evacuated from that one?
I think they come with a ladder.
Yeah.
I don't know, or they push you along to like the few. There's a few like
little platforms or
raised
something.
Platforms, yeah.
This is an Epic Universe one. We actually promised an Epic episode.
Yeah, we'll have to do that when you come back.
Have to do it after you go to Circus McGurkus with Annie, and you can talk to her about
tomorrow.
Appearing on our podcast. This could be a whole episode of Disneyland versus WDW, but for an actual question, if you could upgrade a classic attraction with modern technology or base a new ride in a park original IP, what would you want?
I mean, Peter Pan, last episode we talked about Peter Pan's flight in Shanghai, how great that is. If I had the power, I would literally knock down the Magic Kingdom one and build that one. So that's it with modern technology, but still charming and meaningful as ever.
I would like to improve Space Mountain. I think as much as it's a classic, and I love Space Mountain. I just think the ride experience and the everything could be a little bit better.
Yeah.
I think there's new technology to do cool stuff, even with the limited footprint that they have inside of that building. I think it could be pretty cool. How would you fix Disneyland's Tomorrowland?
My God. I don't even know at this point because I felt like Marvel was the answer, right? And the reason I say that is I think like the Stark Expo would have been brilliant, right? Because the Stark Expo was inspired by the World's Fair, which in a lot of ways inspired Tomorrowland, right?
Yeah.
So like a fake World's Fair where it's all these fictional companies, right? Think about it, even like ours, it would be like they did it a little bit with the new Tomorrowland, right? With the fake companies. Because you had XS Tech. XS Tech was at the Interplanetary Convention Center doing a presentation. The Science Center had the timekeeper showing off his, time machine invention. The Metro Retro Historical Society presented the Carousel of Progress. There was a little bit of that there, but I think like in a modern Tomorrowland, right? Like what if Tron was, if you wanted to give Tron actual story rather than what it is with, you've entered the grid and you're in a competition, you have to get these gates. And, it's stupid. What if it was an NCOM? What if NCOM was presenting at the Stark Expo? And that explains how you get zapped into the game grid. And then you end up competing to get out, right? Like, that'd be great.
Especially if this plan could include bulldozing the Tomorrowland Speedway.
Yeah.
You use that space.
Well, they're specifically asking about Disneyland. But yeah, I think all of them overall.
But you said great. Tron, so that.
Yeah, but I was thinking like you could build Tron at Disneyland, right? If you knock down the Carousel Theater, you want to build it back there. Or even you want to get rid of Autopia and put it there, right? And you could turn it into the Stark Expo, right? Like I don't like Ant-Man and the Wasp Nano Battle, but you've already overlaid a Buzz Lightyear ride into that. Yeah. So you could do that. Star Tours could certainly be churned. You could use those simulators as something else. Space Mountain, let that be presented by, I don't know, it's a terminal. I think that was the place for Marvel. I think that was a way stronger story than what they came up with for California Adventure. I don't know. What would you do?
I'm not really sure. I mean, I like the idea of the Stark Expo. I just think Tomorrowland and Disneyland in general feels just kind of sad and dilapidated.
It's disjointed.
Yeah, it's disjointed. Like this massive queue for Space Mountain kind of goes everywhere into like atriums and hallways, and there's planters and there's outdoor areas and there's all kinds of like space to do stuff. I think that it's just kind of right now a wasted opportunity. I think I would like to see someone with a lot of vision come in and make it cool. Yeah. I don't mind. I wouldn't mind keeping this idea of a retro futuristic vision, but maybe adjust our retro forward 30 years and do a retro futuristic design from the 80s or something like that. Yeah, I think that would be really cool. And in terms of you're going to put IP into it, Stark Expo makes a lot of sense. There's other things they could do too, like look, Tron in the 80s would make sense. You said it as an 80s Tron, not this new Tron.
Well, it doesn't be 80s Tron, but you could just be at NCOM is presenting at the Stark Expo and they have the device and you all get zapped into the grid, right? I mean,
yeah. What could go wrong? We'll also take questions from the WIGS. The WIGS are watching live. The WIGS, the WDWNT Interglobe Society. That is our Patreon group that supports our content and our ability to create this content for you. If you want to learn more about that, you can go to wdwnt.com/Patreon or patreon.com/WDWNT. Yeah. For as little as $2 a month, you get early. You can get things like early access to events, discounts on events, show and event tickets.
There's a nice big discount on Stage 89.
Early access to buy the Gertie Plush, and also for Stage 89. These things, events like Stage 89 are very expensive for us to produce and put on. Yeah. So a little bit of a discount goes out to the WIGS, and thanks for their support. all kinds of stuff. So we'd appreciate that if you check that out. You can become a WIGS member. We'll see you in Discord, and we'll talk to you on the show.
Since you mentioned Stage 89, I might as well plug it. For those that are unaware, we're having a big celebration of 35 years of Disney's Hollywood Studios and also 30 years of the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, and we're doing that with the people that built it. So the people that created the 1989 Disney MGM Studios, the people that created the Tower of Terror and its subsequent versions, people that worked on all sorts of stuff in between. If you want to learn more about the Great Muppet Movie Ride and things that weren't built for Muppet Land, we're going to have people who worked on that project. A lot of really fun stuff. If you want to join us in person or via streaming, you can get your tickets at stage89.com. The streaming ticket through March 15th only is half off. It's 50% off. So it's only $10. And you not only get to stream it live on May 4th and 5th, you can stream it for a whole month on demand as well. So you gather the family around, you could watch these presentations. It's going to be a memorable event. So I will tell you, if you want to come in person, we have a meet and greet event where you get stuff signed. If you want to get something Great Movie Ride or Tower of Terror signed, we'll also have lithographs we're making especially for the event that are the event gift you can get signed. And then May 4th and 5th, just 2 days of panel presentations. That'll be pretty exciting.
And we will be supporting Give Kids the World through this event.
All proceeds.
The proceeds from this event are going to go to Give Kids the World.
So we're not making a cent. This is all about just doing something for the fandom that the fandom deserves, right? This park gets very little love from the company. And you remember the last anniversary, all they did was they wouldn't even mention what the park used to be or any rides that used to exist in it. They unveiled a new logo. They got booed. The crowd booed a logo.
Oh, those were the days.
It was a good time. So we're celebrating the park that was with, again, like the leads. These are not just people that worked on these projects. These are the people that were in charge of the Great Movie Ride, in charge of Tower of Terror, the people that created the alien scene of Great Movie Ride, the scenic designers, Superstar Television, Monster Sound Show, all these great attractions, Star Tours, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids Playground, Muppet Vision. We're going to talk a lot about all the people, all the highest ranking people that created Muppet Vision with Jim Henson are going to be here in our studio. It's going to be a wild time. Please join us.
All right. Well, I'm back in Discord with the WIGS. JC Bobbitt says, will Disney ever go back to operating both water parks concurrently?
Not anytime soon.
No.
If you go there, look, I went this winter to Blizzard Beach a couple times. No one was there. And I'm like, yeah, why would you have a second one open? No one's at this one. So in the summer months, they're busier for sure. That's when Typhoon operates.
Yeah.
But still not enough to probably need the second one open. I don't know. I think eventually it'll become a summer thing, but I think they're happy with what they're doing now.
I mean, it actually makes sense. As much wear and tear as water and operating water park creates, I think to have one that they can be in a constant state of refurbishment, back and forth between the two, makes sense.
They both look great because of it. So it's not that they're definitely not neglecting them, but it's a staffing thing, right? So they just shift the whole staff over. Yeah. So they all just, on March 16th or whatever day it is, those people at Blizzard will pack up, and the next day they'll start working at Typhoon Lagoon. The whole park will just shift over.
Yep. And, obviously I think if they felt like the parks, those water parks could both sell out every day, they'd figure out a way to keep them both
absolutely.
open.
Are you using more money? Yeah.
All right, we're back to the community comment. What is a business decision you made that you regret? Oh boy.
Well, Eric's sitting here, so I can't.
Ouch.
Business decision I made that I regret. I mean, there's definitely some. I'm trying to think what.
I mean, I'll bring up something general. It's not very specific, but there was a time a couple years ago when money was coming in pretty good, and I think you probably could have pocketed more of it, and instead invested a lot in the company. Yeah. And not everything that we did worked out. So some of those investments I would like to take a mulligan on, of things that we tried to do and either were unable to execute or they didn't produce what we thought they were going to produce.
But you never know if you don't try.
Yeah, I mean, our biggest investment has been this large studio space that is going to be expanding, and it's really great. But it's going to be great to have more space to kind of make this nicer, make this more clean, have places to put stuff. Because even though we have a large space, we have a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so
And
there's a lot of clutter on this end of the office, essentially, right? So someone said something I think it was at our Epcot 40th event, where they called WDWNT Celebration the fifth gate.
Yeah.
And I really like that. And I think that's more what we're going to try to be. It's going to be this really cool museum and lounge space and a place for some great live entertainment and guest speakers. And so Stage 89 is kind of the tip of the iceberg for what we're going to be doing going forward. I think, we're talking about doing even filming of News Today live with the studio audience. Maybe we'll do the podcast with a studio audience at some point.
Oh boy.
We're talking about these things, more opportunities for you to come and visit and see what's going on here. We have all this space. People should come see it.
I'm going to say the name that we couldn't say earlier. Let's try to get you to say it. Would you advise Disney shareholders to vote for or against Jay Rasulo for the board?
I'm going to say against, but I don't know that Jay did an awful job when he was with the company, but he reminds me of an era of like Paul Pressler and Cynthia Harris, and I don't.
Cost cutting.
He's a numbers guy.
He's a butcher, yeah.
Yeah, and I think like the reason he got pushed out was I don't like John Lasseter took a very active creative role, and I don't think they got along very well. I could be wrong, but I kind of feel like that's what happened at that time. Like he just didn't fit in at WDI at a time when they were getting more creative again, and so he just kind of faded away.
If you could pick one ride at any Disney theme park to be turned into a movie, what would it be? I mean, I have some ideas. I mean, a lot of them already have been, right? But Big Thunder Mountain.
Yeah, that was supposed to be a TV series, Tumbleweed.
Yep.
That didn't happen. That's a good one, though. Mystic Manor would be cool. Yeah. Obviously, Figment. Journey to Imagination would be fun.
Yeah, I don't know what that film looks like, but I think it would be fun to have him in there.
Looks like an acid trip.
Let's go deeper though. We could do better. Space Mountain. No Space Mountain. What are other like kind of tent pole, rides that
They did them all.
Yeah. Test Track would be a pretty boring movie.
Phantom Manor would be cool.
Phantom Manor could be cool.
Its own movie, yeah.
Yeah. All right. What are your thoughts on D23 Brazil that is happening only 4 months after the one in Anaheim?
I don't know. I think there's definitely a lot of Disney fans in Brazil. I think it'll work. I don't know if we're going to go to it or not. To wait and see. We might go. I mean, it might be a big enough deal. Although I'd have to brush up on my language.
Yeah.
I'm sure it will not be in English.
Oh boy, I can see there. This question is directed at each of us individually. What are your favorite restaurants from New York City and from Kansas City, respectively? If you could add one food item to a WDW park, what would it be?
New York City's going to be. It's not going to be like stuff people know. It's going to be local stuff in the Bronx that I think is great.
That's good. I think people want to know that.
Yeah. There's an Italian restaurant called Pasta in the Bronx, and it is phenomenal. I've brought people there. And people are just blown away. They're like, this is what this is supposed to taste like.
Yeah.
So I like Pasta a lot. Yeah.
Kansas City has a lot. Obviously, barbecue is like a big thing.
Yeah. Where'd you take us? It was great.
I took you to Joe's.
Joe's
is in a gas. The original Joe's is in a gas station. That's fantastic. That has become a Kansas City institution. The originals are kind of like Arthur Bryant's and Gates are the two that it used to be. When I was a kid, those are the ones people were like, are you Arthur Bryant's or a Gates person? I was always kind of a Gates person. I still buy their sauce online. I ate at a place. They have a pizza shuttle there now, which I love. Pizza shuttle, cheap, terrible pizza, but I love pizza shuttle.
What a name.
My sister lives close to a place called the Peanut, which has some of the best wings that you're going to find around the area. But I went to a place a few weeks ago in Overland Park called Buck Tooie. And Buck Tooie is they won't call it fusion, but it's fusion cuisine. It is Kansas City barbecue with Thai food.
Yeah.
It's absolutely incredible.
Okay.
So like when you can dip a Kansas City burnt end into like Tiger Cry sauce, it's a small place. It wasn't particularly expensive or fancy. It's great. They also have a tortilleria that just won a James Beard Award. for the best bakery, and they make really good tortillas. So that one is called Yoli, I think. So, what is your most favorite no longer offered live entertainment? I truly enjoyed
We were
Mickey's.
supposed to pick a food item to put in.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we still got to pick a food item to put into a park.
I mean, I don't know, but there was. I know there's.
Are we talking food items that would be identified by these regions, New York and Kansas City?
I don't know if that's what they meant.
I mean, real burn ends, that'd be hard to pull off, right?
Yeah.
Because you'd run out of them, right? If a place never runs out of burn ends, they're not real burn ends.
Yeah.
Because there's only there's a finite amount of burn ends you can get out of like one brisket, and it's just a few.
A good bagel place we got a good donut place. Everglazed is great.
Yeah.
I need a good bagel place at Disney World.
Yeah, where at Disney World do they even have bagels other than like breakfast
Places,
buffets?
but they're all like old. They're all like Florida, like grab and go bagels. They're not good.
Yeah.
But like a good bagel place would be. Everglazed should just break into that business. But
Have we talked about the Bagel Boy? Random.
of Company B,
No.
the Boogie Woogie Bagel.
No,
Boy?
he's not a famous trumpet man from out Chicago way. No, Jason discovered this place. I think it's on Facebook. It's called the Bagel Boy.
Yeah.
And they make fantastic bagels.
Yeah?
But it's a thing where you order ahead of time on Facebook, and then you go to the address, which is, I believe, their house, and there's a cooler on the front porch, and you put your money in the cooler, and you take out your order of bagels for that day. I think they only do it on weekends, and they're fantastic. Believe it or not, they're fantastic.
Wow.
There's a New York bagel place in Windermere right behind the Magic Kingdom that's
They're fine.
pretty
I've been
good.
to some of those
It's pretty
places,
good.
Yeah.
Not bad. But yeah, good bagels in the Disney parks would be good.
Yeah.
And where would they do it? Hollywood Studios?
I don't know.
Bring back starring roles, but starring
Any of the bakeries,
bagel rolls. What?
Any of the bakeries.
Yeah. I can see the boardwalk maybe would be a good place. For
That would make sense, right? Boardwalk Bakery, yeah.
What is your most favorite no longer offered live entertainment? I truly enjoyed Mickey's Jammin' Jungle Parade, Mulch, Sweat, and Shears, and of course Citizens
Street
of
Sphere,
Hollywood.
Yeah. Citizens of Hollywood. Yep. Bar none.
I mean, can I pick? Am I allowed to just say like Spectro Magic or
Yeah.
nighttime parades?
Yeah, Spectro's my favorite.
I think Spectro Magic. They could bring that back and make everybody happy.
Yeah. Well, they'd have to rebuild it because they destroyed it.
Yeah. Will the full Festival of Fantasy parade ever return?
No.
No. The Merida's Bagpipe Float, TikTok Croc Float, and the 33 missing performers.
No, not coming back. Can't say more, but they're not coming back.
Will the Yeti ever get fixed? We've
No.
talked about this before. No.
No, I don't think so.
There are, what was Joe Rody's quote? There are solutions, but not opportunities,
Yeah.
business-wise.
Yeah.
It would cost too much to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
I think when the time comes to retrack Everest, that's the moment. So that might be when. But before that, probably not.
I could see a scenario where with more, I mean, how old is that ride now?
Almost 20 years.
20 years old.
Oh, my God.
So materials that maybe lighter materials or something, they could replace it with something.
I think it'll get replaced with something different, whether it's a one that moves less or a projection. Or I do think when it's time to retract that'll be such a big project that it'll get put into it'll be done at the same time, I think.
This question asks, Disneyland Paris, it seems to need a new e-ticket attraction. What e-ticket do you think Disneyland Paris needs? I feel the main park is desperate for a new standout attraction.
Park. See, but people keep saying this, and I'm like, does it matter where it goes when your two parks are on top of each other? Like when I can walk 5 minutes between the two parks, does it really matter which park?
Yeah, because you have an annual pass. You can just walk from one park to the other, but
people buy
somebody
park
else
hoppers.
but somebody else might only have a pass to one park.
Yeah, but then
And they're saying
there's
Disneyland-
stuff worth seeing in the other park you're going to miss then. Look, if you really want to put something in the other park, in the original park, I think Lion King or Jungle Book e-tickets. I think that's the answer. People love those two IPs there. They've never done an e-ticket with either of them anywhere. It would be exclusive to them. That's the answer. And they're probably going to do Lion King anyway. That's what's coming. But that's the easy answer, that Adventureland expansion plot.
This is from WIGS Cord. Is your museum kid-friendly?
Yes.
Not to watch a show recording just to see Disney stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kid-friendly.
Someone underneath was then like, no, there's a bunch of wires hanging around. I'm like, and then Jake was like, no, there's not.
Only when we're filming
like
the
right
podcast.
now there are, but obviously they get taken away when
No, we've
they're
had
not
kids here.
filming. Yeah.
Now, if you can't make it to a show, it is open to the public on nights that we have WDW News Tonight.
Yeah.
The rest of the time, who knows? Who knows when we're going to be here?
I don't know. That's why we're going to start doing like News Today and stuff like that with an audience.
Yeah, we'll start doing more stuff where we have the public in here.
You know, there'll be a couple opportunities a month to come in. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So, when we're set up for the podcast, there'll be cables and stuff. But you come on a day when we're ready for the public and we clean it up. It's pretty nice. Oh, what would an ideal Disney park look like if you were able to take one ride or attraction from each park resort and pull them all into this hypothetical best Disney theme park?
I mean, it'll only have 12 rides, so it would have as many rides as Epic Universe will have.
Yeah.
All 12.
It's this park called Tokyo Disney Sea.
Well, you got to pull one from each park and somehow make that cohesive. This is a long project you've tasked us with.
Journey.
But it's got to be coherent, right? It's got to all make sense, right? So you want to pull one ride, so you got to pull 12 rides and then make them make sense in a park, right? Or am I crazy? Because one from each park.
Yeah.
That's really hard because I don't know how you're going to pull something from Walt Disney Studios Paris that makes sense. This is a big project. I don't know if we have time for this right now.
Cars road trip.
God. You pick the 12 worst rides and put them into a park and try to make it make sense.
Well, okay, so we could start by going, what's the best attraction in each park, right?
You could, but does that make sense in a coherent park?
But I don't know because let's say the best ride at DCA is Radiator Springs Racers, but outside the context of a Cars Land, I don't know that it makes sense. And if the best ride at Tokyo Disney Sea is Journeying to the Center of the Earth, it's the same ride system. Right?
Can I take a land from each park? Because then that's easy.
Yeah, let's pick a land.
That's way easier.
Let's do a land. Disneyland.
That's a whole park.
Pick one. No.
Oh, you want to pick a land?
Yeah, let's start with Disneyland.
I'm gonna take Toontown from Disneyland.
Not Adventureland.
No, it's the worst event. It's too tiny. It's
but it has Indiana Jones Adventure.
It has Indy, but
it has Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room. It has Bengal Barbecue. It has the Adventureland Treehouse.
Man, you did bring up some good points. Bengal Barbecue.
It has the original Jungle Cruise plotted out and
so we can do two. Like you have one and I have one, right?
Okay.
So I'm taking Mickey's Toontown.
I'm taking.
You're taking
Disneyland's Adventureland.
Disneyland DL Adventureland. All right.
I probably should have taken New Orleans Square. Oh well.
Maybe, but it's got to be coherent, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Magic Kingdom. Well, DCA since we're over there.
Okay.
I'm taking Cars Land.
Oh yeah, I'm taking Cars Land, no doubt.
Okay, Magic Kingdom.
Magic Kingdom.
Pick your poison.
Main Street USA. Does that count?
Yeah.
Okay. What are you taking?
I don't know. They're all kind of bad. Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Liberty Square.
I guess so.
Yeah, Liberty Square wouldn't be bad. Epcot.
Yeah, I guess I'll take Liberty Square. Oh my
Dude,
God!
Can I just say World Showcase?
What do you even do with? I don't even know what to do.
Or no, there's 3 neighborhoods.
The
World
neighborhoods.
Celebration.
None of that's going to fit in either of these parks. This isn't going to make sense.
Epcot, we might have to just take one attraction.
We can take a small area of Epcot, like with an attraction and surrounding stuff, maybe.
I'm going to take the American Adventure because you got Liberty Square in your park. I can make American Adventure fit into. It can be the buffer between Main Street USA and the rest of the things I have going on.
Is the park icon that theater then? Is it like the end?
No,
of
I
the
guess we
street?
could. I don't know that the land. I don't know that the hub counts as a land. I think we can have a castle in the center of our park if we want one, or you can have a giant volcano, or you can have a spaceship Earth, or you can have.
I'm gonna take Norway. You know what? Let me take Cosmic Rewind.
Okay.
That'll essentially be our Tomorrowland then.
Okay. That's actually a better context for Cosmic Rewind than Epcot is.
Yeah. Let's do that. Okay. Studios.
Sunset. I want to say Toy Story Land, but it's just because I want to have that, but it's got to be Sunset Boulevard, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna take Galaxy's Edge. All right. DAC.
Pandora.
I'm also gonna take Pandora.
Okay.
All right.
I want to see what the WIGS are saying.
Tokyo Disneyland.
I kind of want their Beauty and the Beast. Like, is Beauty and the Beast land? Is that?
I mean, it's part of Fantasyland, but you
Fantasy-
could take just that section if you want.
I mean, I could take all of Fantasyland if I get the Beauty and the Beast with it. All right, perfect deal.
Fantasyland?
Yeah.
What do I want to take? What fits with my park? Oh, I'm going to take Critter Country.
I knew you would want that.
Yeah. Okay. Disney Sea.
Now, this is where you start having an advantage over me because I have not laid eyes on any of these things.
What do you want at Disney Sea?
I feel like I have Main Street USA for parades, but I feel like I could do a lot with Mediterranean Harbor.
Yeah. You also get Soarin' with that.
Yeah, you get Soarin', but
What you want?
I don't. It's hard for me to say. I mean, Fantasy Springs would be cool, but also it doesn't
don't
exist
know
yet.
yet,
Yeah, we don't know
yeah.
if it's going to be good.
You want Mediterranean Harbor?
Yeah, I guess you're going to take Port Discovery, aren't you, or Mysterious Island?
See, I could take Mysterious Island, but I have Cars Land.
Yeah.
Does it matter though? That's the question. I also have a lot of sci-fi, right?
Yeah.
I have Pandora, Galaxy's Edge, and Cosmic Rewind. Mm-hmm. You know what? I'm going to take American Waterfront.
Okay. I wish we had graphically we could construct this
Right,
park.
yeah. American Waterfront, right? Because I get Tower of Terror. I have a big Broadway theater for shows. I have the Electric Railway. I have the big ship with some nice restaurants, the Columbia. I kind of work that into my main. That could be the main street for this
Yeah,
park.
I like the Fortress Explorations bit for Mediterranean Harbor.
Yeah, you have that. That's true. Okay, Disneyland Paris,
Oh, I'm taking Thunder Mesa, Frontierland.
Frontierland. I've already got a big roller coaster in Guardians. Fantasyland would bring a lot of good family side, and that's the best Fantasyland. I think, but having that Pirates, I'm going to take their Adventureland. Because I get that Pirates, I get a giant play area. Yeah, I get the tree house. It's kind of a thing we don't know. That's a good transition area for Pandora, too. The lush jungle. How I ended up with Liberty Square in this park. I already have. I couldn't take that. I already have a mansion. Actually, you have two mansions now. You have
Phantom Manor.
and the Tokyo
And
Haunted Mansion.
Tokyo
Both of
Haunted.
them.
Wait, Tokyo Haunted Mansion's in
It's in
Fantasyland?
Fantasyland. You have
All
two
right,
Haunted Mansions.
that's cool. Well, I just won't be able to take Mystic Manor then when we get to Hong Kong, I guess.
Yeah. Walt Disney Studios Paris.
I kind of want Cars Road Trip.
Yeah.
I just want to preserve Catastrophe Canyon. Is that a whole zone? Is that a whole area?
Worlds of Pixar. is
Worlds
a
of
land.
Pixar. Okay.
That's Toy Story, Ratatouille, and Cars Road
perfect.
Trip.
Perfect.
Wow.
I think I'm building a great park completely by accident.
God, I do not want to take Avengers Campus, but it would tie nicely.
You could
to
take the same one I did.
Cosmic Rewind. No, I don't want Worlds of Pixar. It doesn't make sense. I have Cars Land already.
Oh, yeah.
You now have 2 different Cars rides in separate lands. What are you doing?
Why can't there be 2 cars? I mean, it's okay. The lands can be next to each
What
other.
am I going to take from this park? It's so bad. You know what? It's not open yet, but we know what it's going to be because I've been to it in Hong Kong. I'm going to take Arendelle. Because we know exactly what it's going to be. It's going to be the World of Frozen minus the coaster.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forget what the hell the name is for it in Paris. But yeah, the Frozen Land from Paris I'll take. Where are we now? Hong Kong. Paris? What was after Paris? Was Hong Kong next? Yeah. Hong Kong Disneyland.
I really want Grizzly Gulch.
You have a Frontierland.
But I have a Frontierland. I really want Mystic Point, but I have 2 Haunted Mansion type of rides. So Arendelle would kind of make sense for me.
Want World of Frozen?
World of Frozen.
This is tough because Grizzly or that could be great. But I have Cars Land, which is kind of it's going to be too much like Western United States. I'm going to take Mystic Point. I could put that next to Adventureland. Shanghai.
Oh, Zootopia.
Even though your guest could get run over.
I mean, you can get run over anywhere.
Zootopia, where anyone can be run over.
We try everything.
Where anyone can be anything, including roadkill. If I took that Tomorrowland, but then I'd have Tron and Cosmic Rewind.
What's wrong with that?
That's weird. Could take their Fantasyland. I'd get that Peter Pan then. Yeah, let's take the Shanghai. Ugh, we get that ugly maze though, the Alice maze. Adventure Isle though, yeah, but then that's too much Adventureland. But
Where's the trail?
I'd get the trail and I'd get Soarin'.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Adventure Isle.
Okay, separate category now. We each get to pick a park icon.
Well, you got to think about what you have in this park. Like what ties this identity together? Because I have no idea. You have Italy, Sunset Boulevard, Marceline, Missouri, Route 66,
Yeah.
the Old West. You also have Toy Story Land, Arendelle, Zootopia. I don't know what's your icon.
I mean, look, the icon doesn't have to necessarily tie together everything. Spaceship Earth doesn't say anything about World Showcase in it. It's just
a globe.
Well, that's okay. Tower of Terror doesn't necessarily say anything about Star Wars. These lands can be separate from one another. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the. How about a giant volcano? What would you think about me having a giant volcano in the center of this park?
I mean, I have American Waterfront, so it could just be the lighthouse. The lighthouse could be the icon. Or let's get crazy. Let's get crazy. What if my park icon is Mystic Manor?
It's not big enough.
What if it's on a hill. So what if the theme of the park is like Henry Mystic is charting expeditions to the furthest reaches of the earth and beyond. And so like Henry Mystic is plotting an expedition to Pandora and to all these places.
Did I manage to create a park full of must-ride attractions that doesn't have Pirates of the Caribbean on it in any form?
No, you don't have pirates.
Oh, boy.
You have no pirates.
Perhaps you had an advantage over me in visiting many more of the parks than I have.
Maybe. Yeah, I have the Paris Pirates. I have Mystic Manor. I don't know that either of these can be coherent.
I think coherence doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, you can work in Imagineering now, though.
Yeah. No, I think the coherence within the land matters. I don't think land to land it has that big of impact because Tomorrowland doesn't have anything to do with Fantasyland. Fantasyland doesn't have anything to do with Liberty Square. Liberty Square doesn't have anything to do with Frontierland. Well, there is some continuity there.
Yeah.
Frontier and Adventureland are very different from one another. Main Street USA is very different from all this. I'm okay with my choices.
Who are you rooting for in the Super Bowl, Eric? Said Michael Werber.
Well, I will be watching the Super Bowl.
Michelle R. Weber.
Okay. I will be. Now, this is not going to make sense to the viewers because this is taking place almost 2 weeks after the Super Bowl. But I am a Chiefs fan. I grew up in the Kansas City area, and I will be watching the Super Bowl in Kansas City. Yeah. So I'm rooting for the Chiefs. I'm hopeful, but I'm not gonna go crazy about it. I would like for them to win. That would be nice.
I will be rooting for the 49ers because I want everyone to be unhappy.
I think more people are rooting for the 49ers, though.
Out of spite?
Yeah, I just think I read. I think the Athletic wrote an article, and they're like, there's not a whole lot that's actually hateable about the Chiefs, except that they've been successful, right? The Patriots were very successful, but they also had the cheating scandals and stuff on top of it.
But you don't like teams that win multiple,
right? You don't.
The Yankees were despised.
Yeah,
several generations of the Yankees were despised for winning too many championships.
Yeah, Well, I mean, there was also this impression that the Yankees had economic advantages over all the other markets and blah, 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 blah. But I get it, right? And there's there's a lot of weird stuff going on. There are deep state conspiracy theorists who think that Taylor Swift is planted there to influence elections. There's people that just don't. They showed Taylor Swift for a minute out of a 3-hour broadcast, and everyone says, all they do is show Taylor Swift. I'm never watching football. I'm not. We talked about Taylor Swift on the last episode. I don't know enough about Taylor Swift to have strong opinions. It doesn't bother me that the NFL players' family members are shown on broadcast, which they are. I know when the Lions were still alive, they showed one of their season ticket holders for several minutes every game. The guy's been a Lions season ticket holder for 66 years. Yeah. I mean, they show human interest stories, right? They show parents and families and wives and kids of players. It's just kind of the thing. Anyway, that's just me. I don't know. That's my short answer, though. I'm rooting for the Chiefs.
Okay.
And I think you're rooting for the 49ers because the Chiefs beat the Dolphins, by the way.
Wow.
Have you been to Knott's Berry Farm?
I have. Have you?
No. If I have, I was like 2 years old. So I don't even know when Knott's Berry Farm opened, but
I mean, a very long time.
It's older than me. I haven't. I have heard the Boysenberry Festival there is fire.
That's what people say. I haven't been during that, but I like that park.
Yeah.
It's a good time. The food is great, even not during the festival. Like the Boysenberry churro was fire, as the kids would say. I
know that every now and then someone climbs that really tall tower in the park.
Oh, yeah.
They got to deal with somebody doing that. But I don't know. I've seen it from the highway before.
Yeah.
It's not too far off the highway. Do you think Disney will ever do anything with Discovery Island?
No.
No?
No, it's a tropical paradise for people to find.
You heard my idea, right? Did we talk about this together? Or was it? I might have been on a different show. It's my idea would be to build a hotel out there, but it's like Galactic Star Cruiser, but it's for pirates. It's like an immersive pirate. You take a pirate ship to get out there. You're out there, and maybe they have little missions you go on where you're out on boats in the middle of Bay Lake. I don't know. I think it'd be make it very small, obviously, because there's not a lot of a lot of room out there. Yeah. You don't want to make it an eyesore.
Be a tower. It'd be very
something. Cool. Look, put a big skull. You got
pirate tower.
You got to sail into the skull. Yeah, a little pirate tower. You sail when you go out there. That's the dock. That you sail through the mouth of a skull. You make it cool. Have a pirate themed immersive Star Cruiser hotel.
Yeah.
That's also only $200 a night. What do you say?
Sounds like good business.
Yeah. I live in the Netherlands. Have you heard of the Efteling? Would you ever visit? Yeah. Amazing theme park. Some of the best dark rides ever made.
It's on my bucket list, but I haven't been yet.
My only foreign theme park I went to was Tivoli Gardens in Copenhagen. That was great.
Gotta go to Efteling.
Yeah, it's a great one. Have you signed autographs for fans in the parks?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, even I have.
Someone had me sign their Country Bear poster.
I don't know what anyone would do with an Eric Morton autograph. I mean, we've sent them like for auction prizes and stuff, but a couple in the parks. Which do you think is better nighttime parade? Main Street Electrical Parade or Paint the Night Electrical Parade?
I mean, when they were new, it's probably pretty even. I don't know. Like today, Paint the Night because Electrical Parade is long in the tooth. It's a bit dated now.
Yeah, I don't know on that one. I just love the beginning of Main Street Electrical Parade so much.
Yeah,
the ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, all that.
Yeah. Then you see the Tokyo one, and you're just like, oh my god, this is because it's everything you love about the Electrical Parade, but modernized.
Hey, Eric, I wanted to ask if you're still a Jayhalks fan for basketball and now recently football. Also, do you ever fan meetups when you're back in Lawrence or KC area? I actually started out my whole life. Kansas basketball is like kind of a religion, but and I'm from Lawrence. But I've always been a football fan. I used to. I mean, when I was a kid, as soon as I was able to, I was selling popcorn in the stadium and stuff. I've always been a KU football fan, and they've been terrible my whole life. Yeah. In fact, now half the stadium is knocked down. They're building a new one. But like half of the stadium, it's like an old horseshoe configuration, right? Yeah. Old school, built like maybe probably 100 years old. And they've knocked down exactly around half of it. And the other half of the horseshoe is still standing because they need it for graduation in May.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know if they're going to get all the rubble on the other side all out of there before graduation. Wow. I hope so. And then they'll knock down the rest.
What a graduation photo.
They're going to play the rest. They're going to play all their games at Arrowhead Stadium next year, except the non-conference games are playing at the Sporting KC Soccer Stadium, which is much smaller. Okay. In terms of fan meetups, no, I don't do meetups. I do go back to Lawrence. In fact, I'm flying to Kansas City tomorrow. My brother's memorial service will be on the following Saturday, and so I'm there a lot. They're not. I mean, anytime I get together with friends in Lawrence or Kansas City, it's kind of like a fan meetup, right?
Wow.
I'm just fans of them. Top 5 theme park attractions of all time.
Oh my God. Journey to Imagination. Mystic Manor, Indiana Jones Adventure. That's tough. Then Pirates at Disneyland Paris. Then probably Journey to the Center of the Earth or Sinbad's Storybook Voyage, one of those. That's tough.
I'm much more limited. Domestic parks only. Number 1 is Horizons for me. Then we kind of get to in no particular order: Haunted Mansion, Pirates of the Caribbean, specifically the Florida version of the Haunted Mansion and the California version of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
And then what's that? 3. 4, I think, is Avatar: Flight of Passage.
Okay.
And 5. Man, this is tough. I want to throw in a non-Disney one just to be different.
Yeah.
The first roller coaster I ever remember loving that wasn't a scary, there were some that I would ride and they were scared, was the original from Worlds of Fun. It was called the Zambezi Zinger.
Yeah.
Zambezi Zinger. I don't know. I called it Zambezi Zinger, but I think it's spelled Zambezi Zinger. It's now in Colombia. You sent me a video. I knew it was there. They've rebuilt a new Zinger that's not at all like the old one, really.
Yeah.
It's made out of wood. But the original, I think, because it's the first roller coaster I was ever on that you went full speed through a tunnel. I thought that was cool. So let's call that my top 5. It's probably not one of the best ones. It's just the one I remember from my youth as being my favorite.
Want to take 1 or 2 more questions?
Top 5 theme park shows of all time.
Oh, God, forget it. I can't narrow that down.
No?
Top 5?
Are we just saying live shows only?
I don't know. I don't even know what Fantasmic's in there for sure.
Yeah.
I like Tarzan Rocks.
Yeah.
Finding Nemo the musical I liked. Festival of the Lion King's got to be in there.
One more.
No, there's a ton more, right? Like Mickey and the Magician in Paris. Also that new, Together, the new musical show, the Pixar show at Walt Disney Studios Paris is fantastic.
Oh, you want to know my favorite one I've seen on YouTube?
Yeah.
Very Mini.
That was so good.
Very Mini. That's a really good one.
Yeah, that was a seasonal event at Tokyo Disneyland where it celebrated like Minnie through the years at the park specifically. So she came back out in costumes no one had seen in that park in 10, 15, 20 years. And it's not normal. Like American crowds, like you scream and cheer. It's not normal in Japan. They screamed there was a couple of costumes, things they missed dearly. Obviously, Legend of Mythica, which was at Disney Sea. I forget what other ones. Mysterious Masquerade, probably. But then there's some shows I've seen at Disney Sea with Song of Mirage, which was in the hangar stage, was fantastic. Love that. Live music, great performances, really cool staging.
Can I throw out some wild cards?
Sure.
Okay, hear me out, because this is not, objectively, it's not, you know what I'm going to say. It's SeaWorld, the Christmas show. What's it called?
Wondrous Night?
Wondrous Night. Holy cow, it's wild.
Yeah.
It was like the whole time I'm like, what are we doing here? And then something about it connected with me all of a sudden. They start bringing out all these animals. There's camels walking around the theater going to the stage. It is wild.
So like a bunch of the second tier amusement parks do this thing where essentially they hire or maybe in some cases kind of lease their theaters in the Christmas season to these Christian performance groups. And so Wondrous Night is one of those. Dollywood does stuff like that too. And the Dollywood shows I do not think they're very good. They're too preachy. Like it's a theme park. It's not the place for it. Right. It's fine. Like I don't mind singing Christmas songs that relate to Jesus. That's just part of the season, right? That's not my problem. My problem is if it gets preachy about it.
Yep.
Wondrous Night starts as a weird, it's like if you went to a Christian grammar school, grade school, and they're trying to some traveling group comes in, they're trying to make learning about the Bible cool, and so they're like, what'll fix is puppets. Yeah, we'll do these cool cartoony puppets. So it's a cool cartoony puppet show about the birth of Jesus. But then at the end, it starts to transform into this psychotic gospel performance where the puppets turn into real animals. And so every animal that was at the real nativity bursts through the doors and goes up onto the stage. And then suddenly it becomes this big gospel performance. They're super talented.
Yeah, it's
very
great.
talented performers. You have to see it.
I can't even describe, because I don't even think watching it on YouTube will do it justice.
No, it has
because
to be
you're
in
there
person.
and you're like, this is so bizarre. It's basically the puppets of the animals explaining why they were responsible for the birth of the baby in this manger.
Yeah,
and then they'll go, no, I was more responsible because I did
went
this.
like this. Yeah.
And then they'll bust into like popular songs or gospel versions of popular songs, and they're dancing, and the choir rips their robes off, and they're like wearing like street clothes. It's great. It's hilarious.
You have to take people that don't know what they're getting into.
I know, because I went with Jason, and he kept looking down. I could tell the reason I was there.
People, because that's the way I was introduced. It's like a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
You have to bring new people into it every year. So your first time, people will inevitably be looking at you, be like, "Are you seeing this?" And then you the next year have to bring new people, and you have to continue the cycle
of passage,
and just see what people's reactions are like to this weird show.
Lee looked at me at one point, and she's like, "What in the hell is going on here?" And then when the animals started coming out, she lost it. She was like in love. Also, another wild card: the 2021 version of Nightmare Fuel.
Oh my God!
Was just so shockingly in your face. At Halloween Horror Nights. I thought it was great.
I like Bill and Ted.
I never saw Bill and Ted.
Yeah, that was fun. The one at what was the anniversary year? I guess the 25th year, or the final year, actually. The final year was cool. It's fun. I like goofy comedy, so that was always my thing.
I love also. It's not technically a theme park, but I love the Tangled show on the Disney Magic.
It was good.
Yeah, for a stage show at sea, I thought that was my favorite of the ones that I've seen. That and Twice Charmed.
Twice Charmed was very good. Yeah.
So
I like both of those.
We have
The
time for one
Frozen
more.
musical at DCA was great, by the way. Shame that didn't last longer.
I do like the Frozen show at Hollywood Studios, specifically when it's Christmas, to sing along.
It's the Streetmosphere people carry it. Yeah.
All right, one more question. One last one. Let me see. Find a good one.
I'll pet Gertie while we wait.
Why is the WDW News Tonight calendar not on the calendar on your website? I'll tell you why. We're actually phasing out that calendar, aren't we?
Yeah, because it doesn't help anybody.
We're phasing that calendar out. It takes up a lot of space on the site, and it doesn't help anybody. You can find our calendar at WDWNewsTonight.com.
Yeah,
that's where you should go for it.
Yeah.
But on the main page, we're phasing out the use of that calendar. I think I've used it on Boxed In once in the last several months, and I think Rob might still use it sometimes.
Rob meticulously fills it in, but we're not going to use it anymore.
What are your favorite Disney live action films? Do you prefer the old Haunted Mansion or the new one?
The new one.
Yeah, the new one's way better.
Yeah. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Yeah.
And of course, Pirates of the Caribbean.
I'm a big fan of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and also Island at the Top of the World.
Yeah.
What a bizarre movie.
Yeah.
It's old. It's funny. And then just a weird one from COVID lockdown, Blackbeard's Ghost.
I was just going to mention it. That's my favorite weird old Disney movie. Blackbeard's Ghost is still funny. It's still funny.
Peter Ustinov.
It's great slapstick. Yeah. It's like the Three Stooges. It's timeless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably always on Disney Plus. They probably will never take that one down.
Please go watch it. I love
Blackbeard's Ghost
so much. Yeah.
Anything else you want to add before we wrap this up, Tom?
No.
All right. Well, we want to thank you for watching this episode of the WDW News Today podcast. We appreciate your viewership, and we will see you next time.
See you real soon.
Bye-bye.